Guys, and welcome back to my channel, Crochet Creation. My name is Courtney, and in today's tutorial I am going to show you how to work in the back loops of your project. So see these V stitches here? I'm going to be showing you how to work in the back loops only, which is these loops right here. So yeah, what I'm currently working on is another bucket hat in order to show you guys how to work in the back loops. So like if you have no idea how to, or if you are struggling to work in the back loops of making any project, say it's a bucket hat or just a regular hat or any type of work where you're trying to do like a ribbing like texture technique to make something look really nice, I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So let's get into it. So to work in the back loops for my project right now is what basically my ruffle bucket hat that I have a tutorial on. So I'm just going to chain 2. And what we're going to do is in this first stitch right here where I slip stitch back into to close my round is we're going to work in this back loop right here. These 2 back loops right here. So you see like how the back loops are like on the of how it's in the V. So it's not this loop right here, but it's this loops, like these loops right here in the back loops. And I'm just going to show you just a little bit with double crochets. You're going to go in the back loops right here, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you see how that's just stretching out the stitch just a little bit. So let's do 2 more into the back loops. And into the back loops right here. Right in that back loop. And see how that creates like a little ribbing effect. I mean, if you can't see it like from this angle, like you can always just fold it down like that or just flatten it out and see how it looks. See, like this is the front loop right here, and these ones with the way the double crochets in are the back loops. So yeah, if you are struggling to learn how to crochet in the back loops, my high suggestion would be to take some stitch markers and just put them in those front loops so that way you know which ones you're working into. So get any, like, if you have like a pack of stitch markers, just put them in the front loops right here. So that way you know that this is the front loop and this is the back loop. So you just put those, if you have to put like stitch markers in each front loop in order to make sure you don't get yourself confused with the back loop or the front loop, just like put a stitch marker all the way around the entire brim, and it'll make it easier for you to crochet into the back loops and see how the ribbing is. See? So I have my stitch marker right here. So if I just kept putting stitch markers in the front loops only, you would basically be able to easily see those back loops right there and be able to double crochet or single crochet right into them and give it a nice ribbing look for any project that you're doing, whether if it's a hat, a bucket hat, or just a regular hat, or even just if you're doing rows of single crochet going back and forth, giving that ribbing effect to any project that you're doing. So yeah, I would highly suggest putting in stitch markers. So I'm going to show you guys of how it's going to look with all stitch markers around, and I'll meet you right back up to show you how it's going to look with the ribbing. Okay, so I'm back. So I didn't put stitch markers in every stitch. I put them in most of the stitches to show you guys what it would look like for when you're when you're doing stitch markers in the front loops to see the back loops a little more clearer. So see all those back loops right here? You would basically be working into those back loops to create a nice little ridging on the top of a hat or on like a band that you're working on for a sweater, for like just a regular like single crochet all the way up. So yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier if you're a beginner at this and if you're struggling to know how to go into the back loop of your project. So basically, all these back loops you would be working into, so you just do a double crochet, because I mostly do double crochet for most of my projects, and you go, let me show you one more time with that. So you're going to yarn over, and you're going to go into this back loop right here. So this back loop, so this one right here, you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. And see how it creates that nice little ridge effect for this bucket hat that I'm just doing an example on. And you're gonna just go right into that back loop, these back loops right here in each one, and just pull up a loop and do a double crochet. So yeah, like I said, if you're struggling, put like stitch markers so that way you see where the loops are, so that way you don't get confused and you don't make a mistake. And that way you can easily just pick up the technique of doing this kind of ridging effect for a project that, like, if you're making a hat or something like that. So yeah, so see how much easier it is just to see those back loops? So much easier. So yeah, use stitch markers, do whatever you have to do to, you know, get the technique down and the effect down for when you're trying to learn how to go into the back loops. That way your project comes out really nice and you get down that skill and you learn something new. So yeah, so see all that, see all those back loops, look at that. So yeah, I definitely suggest, like, the stitch markers is a very helpful tip to help you get that down. And yeah, so yeah, just do that, and it should definitely get you to where you need to be for the technique, and as well as for to not get confused when you're trying to do this for whatever project you plan on working on, whether if it's like I said, whether if it's a hat or if it's even a scarf or even just a ridge line for a sweater for a band. It just makes it a whole lot easier to see. I kind of actually made this whole entire thing look like a rainbow color, to be honest with you. Yeah, so it makes it a whole lot easier to see those back loops and be able to work into them if you're getting confused or if you're having trouble. So I am just about almost done working all these stitches that have the stitch markers in them. And I will just show you how it comes out. And there we have it. So there you have it. These are all the back loops of the stitches that we just worked. And here's all the front loops. So that way it just helps you see it easier and more clearer. And see how that like little ridging effect comes out? Look at that. So yeah. So just remember, if you are struggling, put stitch markers in those front loops so that way you can just go into the back loops right here for any ridging effects if you are struggling. So yeah, just remember, this one is the back loop and this one is the front loop. This one right here is the front loop. So remember, front loop, back loop, front loop, and the back loop. And you're basically just going into the back loop when you're working on a certain, like on a hat pattern or any kind of pattern that says that when you see the letters BLO, which basically abbreviation in crochet means back loop only. And you just get that really good effect for any kind of project you're working on. So if this tutorial was very helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And the next time you're here, you will be learning how to work in the front loops if you are struggling with that as well. And enjoy!